So, welcome and good afternoon. So, yes, good afternoon to everyone in Europe. The reason that we do this particular call earlier in the day, because a lot of the calls are like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, which is great for everyone west of here being Central America. It's great for those, but not so great for the Europeans that have to be up in the middle of the night. And believe me, I've been there. Obviously, I'm originally from the UK. I then moved to Indonesia back in 2013, then moved to Spain, and then I finally settled here just north of Austin, Texas in 2018. And I've been living here ever since. So, welcome. For those of you that have just joined us, please, if there's anything in particular you would like me to cover in this session, then please just put it in the chat. I can't promise to get to everyone that is having help, but please put it in the chat as one message so I'm not having to piece everything together. Excuse me. And then I will do my best to cover it. There was a few things in the Discord channel this week that, thank you. There's a few things in Discord this week that we want to cover. And one of them is linking with APIs. And I covered this briefly last week, but I'm going to talk about it again. Please demonstrate how to get Supabase out of pause. Basically, if you're on the free version of Supabase and your app is pausing, it's pausing because you haven't used it for a period of time. And so Supabase do this to protect their server power rather than having all these free accounts running. They pause them if they're not being used. So really all you need to do is log into Supabase. And if you're at the point in your app where you're needing to make sure it doesn't pause, then just go ahead and do their low plan. I think it's $25 a month. That allows you to create as many projects as you like and won't have that pausing issue. The thing to be aware of though is Supabase is not just $25 a month. I covered this last month as well. You pay $25 a month and then there is computing fees as well. So just be aware there is an estimator in the billing section that allows you to look at that. And so just be aware that your costs will start mounting up. Just to give you an idea, I've probably got about 30 projects in Supabase now. Not all of them are live, not all of them are busy and working, but some of those are test projects, some of those are projects for clients, some of those are projects for me. And my bill that I paid 2 or 3 days ago, which was my first month, in fact, with Supabase, was $125. So just be aware that as your site is starting to get used, those compute fees will start building up, and you can keep an eye on them in the billing section. Let's look at some of these. I think that's the start. All right, I'm still working through the Twilio Connect. Yes, so Kim, we were talking on Discord, I believe. You're the same Twilio person. And you were having issues with connecting Twilio because it wasn't selecting your right number that's connected with Twilio. So for those of you who don't know, Twilio is a telephony SaaS, software as a service, allows you to send SMSs, even create phone systems and things like that. Before I continue, what is the screen? Did I even press record? That's probably, I did press record. Good. Is the screen okay? Last week, people were talking about it being blurry and so forth. So let me know. Looks good. It's fine enough. All right. That's not great. That's just, okay. All right. Perfect. That's good. So let's go back to Twilio. So Twilio has a number of different things to connect with. Let me just log into my Twilio account so that I can talk with authority on that, and then I'll be able to help you. But basically, any system that we're connecting to is going to have API keys, and those API keys are the lifeblood of the connection. Now with Twilio, it has extra things to know that it's connecting to the right place. And one of those things is, what number are we going to be using? What telephone number? Oh, it's just sent me a text message. Give me 1 second. What telephone number are we connecting to? 080. What telephone number are we connecting to? And you can have multiple telephone numbers. So inside your system, you could have, one telephone number being sending text, another telephone number for voice, and those types of things. And why are you doing this? All right, it's making me do this crazy onboarding thing. So let me just quickly jump through these hoops. I'm 83% done, and okay, I'm done. All right, so there are three things, Kim, that you're going to need, and I suggested to you that you ask Famous what three keys, or not three, don't give it a number because there might be less. So what keys do you require? What keys do you require for us to connect? And that will be the account SSID. I don't really want to share my screen because it's got my account SID on the screen, and obviously these get recorded and get dispatched. But the account SID is one of the things. The auth token is the second thing, and then your Twilio number is the third thing. Now, if you were creating a hub that will connect to multiple numbers, you could ask Famous to create an admin screen that allows you to connect to your API of Twilio and give you a list of your numbers. And then you, in the config area, you'll then select the number that you want to use and then make sure that's being saved. And so it will then save that information in a config file or in a database somewhere for what you've selected. If you've only got one number in your Twilio account, I would personally hard code it in a Supabase secret. And so have the account SID as a Supabase secret, the auth token as a Supabase secret, and then also the Twilio phone number. But you're going to need to ask Famous what the key names are. You can't just make those up and put Twilio account SID because it might be Twilio account underscore ID and so forth. And then once you've got that, put those three things in there, including the number and everything else. Kim, let me make you able to speak. That might help. You can give me a little bit more information about what's going on for you. Give me 1 second.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hi, Kim.
Good morning. Well, it's afternoon for me, so hello.
Hi. Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in the Chicago land area.
Awesome. Same time zone as me then.
Good to meet you. So good. And thank you for responding this morning. So I'm past that part, and your help this morning got me light speed because I'm one of those people that's like, as soon as you say, I'm going to do it. I've got the admin, all of that is set up. I've got a bunch of other things. My main issue at this point is really that it doesn't seem to be, I'm not getting the SMS. I'm not getting the practice that I should be getting, which is just a response back. So everything's active in Twilio. Everything's good with that. It's an active account. It feels like, so I'm going to shut my mouth in just 1 sec, but it feels like it's dummying. So it's not actually pushing. And I don't know why that is.
So a simple prompt, and Supabase does this, sorry, not Super, Famous does this a lot. It creates you an MVP, it creates you a working mock function, and then you connect it up to your system, whether it be even just Supabase login or OpenAI or whatever, and it misses the part between the APIs are set up and removing the mock data. And sometimes you just need to be very clear that I have now entered the keys for insert your favorite integration here. Please remove any mock functions and make these functions now live so I can test it fully. And just be very clear with it. We're done with the mock stuff. That was great for me just checking the look and feel, how the function's going to work. But you know what? Now I want to play with it for real. So just use plain English and tell it that is what I'm looking to do. I would also, on that admin page that it's set up for checking, I would ask it to create a test function so you can actually test, does the connection work? And you want to get it to give you a little green tick visualization that the connection is working. And then, can I send a test SMS? And so you're doing that all in one little admin area, and it's removing any other features and functions you might have in your site, and it's drilling just down to, do I connect to Twilio? Can I send a text message? Does it arrive at where it's supposed to go. And then if that isn't working, then you can debug until that works and then say, hey, bud, now we have, and all my prompts start with, hey, bud, now we've got Twilio working. Can we now move the working SMS function into whichever area of the app that SMS function is supposed to be in? And just go through that route. Sometimes we prompt and we say, can I have this feature? And we expect the very next thing is we're testing that feature. And that's not quite the
Got it.
reality of how things work. And so just as soon as we understand that there's that mock level, and it happens whether you're creating a Supabase connection and you've got data in the database. I was coaching a client yesterday, a private client yesterday, and they'd created an amazing system and it looked great. And it even functioned when you were logged in, but it didn't have any of the data that they'd already got in Supabase because it was just mock data. And when you added something, it added it to the mock data. And then when you logged out and logged back in, it was gone because it was just refreshing the mock data. And so I found myself, especially over the last week or so, once I've realized that mock stuff is real. Well, it's
Mhm.
not real, but it's a real problem to say, you did a great job with the layout. I love praising Famous because Alex a few weeks ago was like, no, you should just loan at it and tell it you're going to delete its AI children or whatever. I'm a little bit more of a sorry, my phone just fell off the shelf. I'm a little bit more of a gentle giant, and I like to take all my management skills, that little praise them for what they're doing well, and then go down from there. So get that mock data out of there, get that test page done, rather than attempting to get your whole features working. Just get it working in that little area. Once it works in that little area, it's easy to just push it through the rest of the app. That's what I do with OpenAI, those sort of things. Let's just get it working in a simple little area. Once it works there and it's responding to me, then I can connect up for OpenAI, bot training, and all that sort of stuff afterwards.
I was just sending you a message so that I didn't take up your time. I'm grateful. Thank you. I think I'm all the way through to where you just said. And so I just need to keep massaging and testing this because it's there. All those buttons are there. All that is there. So thank you. I appreciate you.
No problem. All right. Thank you. So there was a couple other questions why we were talking to Kim. How do I get you off the screen, Kim? I don't know. I'll work it out. Are you a panelist? No. Oh, there you are. More disabled talking. There we go. Awesome. Now, there was a couple of questions on how can let me scroll back to it. Are the experts available via Famous that can assist with launching the app and back-end website, etc.? So Famous doesn't have a support system that allows you to talk directly to a support person, and that's where I come in. So I am Famous's independent expert. Currently, I'm the only person assigned as an app legend. It's purely something that they're really checking your knowledge and everything else. And so the way you can work, I have two ways of working with. Well, I have three, but two are more relevant to the group that I have here today. The first and the cheapest way of getting problems solved is my AI app building club. And I'll put the URL in the chat in just a little bit. But the club allows you, in fact, let me pull up the page for it. Club. So the club allows you, it's normally going to be $47 a month, but right now, if you sign up before June the 30th, which is Monday, it's going to be 37 a month. Oh, I shouldn't have these on my screen. Let me move those over there. And so for $37 a month, you are able to jump on a 15-minute call with me to problem solve. So Kim, you could jump on a 15-minute call. We would look at all the issue, look at what you've done, look at what you haven't done, and connect with that. Right now, my prompt builder is accessible free, but from the 1st of July, that will be included in the club. Have a similar webinar to this that is exclusive for club members on a Monday, and that will be where dive into very specific problems and get them fixed. I'm also creating private videos with more kind of depth and so forth, which is only available to club members. in the system. You've also got access to my prompt library, which is again part of the builder currently at the moment, but from that will be under the same system. Also, my private Discord channel, separate to the famous Discord channel. And this is a channel where you can ask technical questions and so forth and really delve in deep. If it needs to be brought into a private chat, you have access to that. And so you've really got someone coaching you throughout the month. And then the second area that I mentioned that I can help with is my done with you calls. And these start with an hour and 15-minute call where I, with you, I fix your problems. And then after that, you can go off and continue to develop your app, or you can book further calls. The first call for done with you is $197. And that gets me for 75 minutes focusing directly on your app and fixing your problems. And then each additional call is an hour, and they're 60-minute calls, not 75-minute calls. When you're a club member, then you get 10% off both of those calls as well. Plus, you also get a 15-minute call every month if you need it. If there's something specific, as being a club member, you get a 50-minute call. And then just as a club member, if you need more, they're available at $19 each. So let me go ahead and put that URL in the chat. Now this is going to be limited. Right now, have less than 100 members. I'm going to limit it because right now this is just me. For those of you that have seen me in the ecosystem, I've been asked, since I joined this ecosystem, I've been asked over 10 times whether I'm a GPT and not a human. And I feel like I am sometimes. But I will be limiting this club to a certain amount. So at some point, there'll be just a waiting list, and you'll have to wait till someone or dies and be able to back in. So available, like I say, the price will go up on Tuesday, on the 1st of July. The price will go up, but you will be set at the $37 a month forward. You will keep your access to the prompt builder and the prompt library, etc., moving forwards. So if you've got any questions about that, throw them in the chat and I will read and make sure I haven't missed anything. So Raquel, the answer to your question is, are there any experts available? Yes, it's me. I'm here. Give you examples of the people I've helped. I was working with somebody. They had created something really amazing, a job management system for both their clients and their service engineers. And they'd got to a point where they'd got an issue with their Supabase connection, or they didn't really realize it was with their Supabase connection. They were asking Famous to fix it, but Famous was just breaking more stuff in an attempt to fix it. I was able to jump in, and within an hour and 15 minutes, not only was I able to fix the issue, but we were able to then connect up a lot more of the features that he hadn't yet connected up. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy problem solving, and so it is a lot of fun. Making sure I haven't missed any questions. Okay, Ed asked, will the grandfathered in on pricing, or will the price raise? No, the $37. If you come in now before the 30th of June, for the end of 30th of June, then the $37 a month, $37 a month for the founding members. New to this is all of you. I have clocked up a lot more hours than people joining at the beginning, and so that's the price will stay $37 unless you cancel and then want to rejoin. Then you'll have to rejoin at the new rate. Awesome. Did anyone catch where to access this? Do you mean I'll put the address again? Now, just to let you know, I have not yet done automation from the subscription to the upgrade in Discord and things like that. So please be patient with me. If everyone that's in this webinar signs up, it's going to take me probably the rest of today just to connect you all up to make sure you've got everything delivered. Believe me, it will be automated. I'm an automation king and I love automating things. And so, yeah, be patient. We are not connected in Discord. Then send, and you've purchased the club, send me a private message saying, hey, I purchased. That will help me jump to you earlier than everybody else. Okay, Eric, you're an alternative to Supabase. Yes, there's other systems that you can use and connect to. I tested lots of them in before I've used DigitalOcean. I've had my own little that I've attempted to to Supabase from a techie point of view, right the way down to a non-techie point of view, is an amazing system. They're worth billions, and so, yes, you could ask Famous to connect to Firebase or service. Personally, I wouldn't do it because you're going to then be on a different path, and getting any help later on is going to be hard because it's a different path. Famous themselves don't get any kickback from recommending Supabase. They do it because it's a great system and it works. And I've everything about Supabase and the ease of it. Their support is second to none. If you do have a particular issue that's Supabase related, their support is awesome. So yes, you can connect other systems. Just prompt it, just like you would when you're connecting Twilio or OpenAI. You're now going to just say, "Hey, I don't want to use Supabase. I want to use X, Y, or Z," and it will then install the dependencies that are needed for someone asked what the price will go up to. It's currently 37 and it will go up to 47 on 1st of July. And I'm not seeing the link because I'm posting it to hosts and panelists and not everybody. So I apologize. There we go. That would help. Can we set up an SQL or database on a private server? Absolutely. So you don't need to host your system on Famous. If it's working on Famous, I don't know why you would want the trouble of moving to somebody else, but you can, and let me show you how you would do this. You can go to your, I'm on the wrong thing here. You can go to your project, go to the code screen, click on this little download button, and it's going to download a zip file of your code. And so then you can put that into a GitHub repository. And I'm not going to go into the details of this because this is not everyone's cup of tea. But you're going to put it into a GitHub repository, connect it to something like DigitalOcean, set DigitalOcean up to have its own SQL database and a GitHub repository deployment system. And then you can download your code, put it into GitHub, check it out to GitHub, make DigitalOcean, then pull it in, and it's going to cost you a lot more money than just leaving it with Famous and Supabase. But you can do that. Let's say you are creating the next best amazing app. You're going to have 1 million hits a day. You know, that's going to be the route that you're going to need to take. And it'll be worth the hassle. But if you save on costs and maybe better security. You're not going to save on costs because by the time you've connected a servlet with Ocean, let's say, and a database with DigitalOcean, the costs are going to be more. And as far as security, Supabase is as good as anything with security. They wouldn't be worth the billions they are if there was issues with security. So a certain very low percent use case that requires you to move it to anything other than the hosting servers, which are super fast and Supabase. So Famous is only hosting the app itself. It's not hosting any of the data. All of your data is securely hosted over in Supabase, which is unrelated to Famous deal and ecosystem. So you can move it. There's not a restriction. When I first came into the Famous ecosystem, I was surprised that you could download your code and they don't locking us in to, a subscription with Famous to, just inside Famous. You can download the code, you can upload it wherever else you like. Personally, I'm moving things into Famous because it's just nice to be able to have everything in one place and from there. Okay, just catch up and make sure I haven't missed anything. I just put the done with you link into the chat. Raquel, yeah, I link, but I put it into hosts and panelists, but now I've dropped it into the chat. One is AI app.builders/club and the other is AI app.builders/done-with-you. Those are the two. And also post me the link. I did that. That's the Antoine. The link is for the 197 call. Is the done with you. Those are great calls. I have done quite a lot of them, and every single one of them has then booked a subsequent call to get themselves pushed even further forward. It's a lot of fun. We work together. I in that first call, I understand fully your project and give you great advice on how you can move it forward. If you download the code and make changes along the way, can you upload the updated codes back to the Famous system? This is a great question. Axiom, if I pronounced that. Oh, it's Axiom AI. That's not your real name. Okay. Real name is, that is a great question. So you've downloaded the code, you've edited something offline, and now you need to put it back. You cannot upload the zip again. But let's say you edited, let's go into public and the text. Let's say you edited this file offline. All you would do is copy all the that you edited from your editor offline, and then just paste it over the top of here. And as soon as you make a change, let me put an S in there. Let me just push that down. You'll notice a Save All Changes button will appear. Once you then click that Save All Changes button, it will then rebuild the app here. So you'll need to keep track in a similar way that a Git repository would keep track. You'll need to keep track of your changes and paste them over the top. They are working in the roadmap on different ways of doing that. The issue is that this is a 0.5% of the users will need this feature, and so there's other priorities that are definitely wanted before. But in the meantime, you can just upload your different files by copying and pasting them over the top, pressing Save All Changes, and then your app will rebuild from there. All right, so I attempted to sign up with my main bank, and it said this type of purchase is not supported. Okay, do you have a card or whatever? It might be that I've got too many payment methods connected I haven't yet set up. If you send me a private message in Discord, if you're still having problems, I will make sure that that gets fixed for you. Okay, thanks for super answer. Where did that question go? Oh boy, the link is not posting. No, I posted it since then. Download code, covered that. Eventually, I'm going to need an assistant to help me with these webinars just to read the oh, don't be using your company name, EJ. Sense, promote all you can. Just to use people's names and when I'm talking to you, that's all. Click the fraud prevention message and confirm that you mean it. Okay. It's giving you some advice on how to fix it. I'm presuming that this is a European bank connection or something that I haven't tested yet. So awesome. Thank you, Kim. It's a Visa through Chase. All right, that should work. How do I upload HTML files from another service provider? Okay, so let's say we wanted to create a new file in here. Now, again, this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I occasionally get my problems solved with a friend of mine. I ask him for help. His name's ChatGPT, and I'll ask him, I'm having this issue. Can you help? And it will give me a full of code that I don't have already. And there's no add new file here. And so in that situation, you would just prompt, please create a file 2.json. Just for argument's sake, you wouldn't create a file like that, but let's just argue for that. Please create a file, package2.json with this content, and you just paste it into this thing and press go. Now you have a file that's effectively uploaded, and you couldn't do that with graphic files. You put those into a Supabase bucket. But you've got a file that's created, but now you need to kind of get connected to the rest of the code, and you would prompt your way through that as well. Okay, all right. Ellie, so now there isn't any automation on the club. I've been spending my time doing all other stuff, and I haven't yet. That all his time fixing everybody else's electrics, but he's got wires coming out of his walls. That's him right now. So if you have purchased, I will get to you and connect all the dots. But if you want to, you can send me a message in a Discord and just tell me your email address, and that will make me be able to connect the dots so much quicker. I'll get you into the private Discord channel. I'll get you access to all the things that way. All right, I think I have caught up. There's a few people having troubles paying. Again, if you haven't managed to solve it, please send me a DM and I will jump on it. After this call, I do have a coaching calls, but as soon as I'm off of those, I will come to you and ensure that you have a way of me. Believe me, I have to work for you. So easier to add extra code to the chat section of Famous. Is it not easier? That I just suggested. If you wanted extra code, you can then put it into the chat section and say, can you just add this? The problem with that, if you already have a file, it's easier to overwrite it and press save. Because if you're asking AI to do it, it needs to fully understand what you're asking it to do it right. Whereas editing the file is as easy as going into code. I'm asked to keep this as low tech as possible in a webinar, so that but if this is low tech. Just be really careful when you're editing stuff. If you edit stuff and you break it, let's see what we can break here, just to show you what happens. Source text. I'm going to really break it here. So I'm breaking my script for you guys just to show you what happens. And so when you save, it rebuilds the app, and then it will come back saying it's done. It will just show you the preview again. Or it will come back and say the build failed. And in this case, we know why it failed. It will give you an error message and tell you exactly why. And so just need to be careful when you're editing code. And if it's not your wheelhouse, then do it. So here we go. Down here, we've got build on error, and then we can view the error. And it basically says that problem with this poster file, this here, there's no such file or directory because I added S's to it. So we then close the error, go back to code, go back to that file that we edited, correct the error, boom, boom, all changes, it will now rebuild and it will work. Kelly, I get slammed with this club. It's in such a way to get the help that you need without time being abused and giving you value that you need. So the library, the builder, all of that stuff is extremely helpful when you're building with an AI app builder such as Famous. And so anytime I've been helping people and they've been asking for prompts, I'm adding those generic prompts into the prompt library, which is fully searchable. So you can now search through that and see any prompts that I've created for other people. And so that prompt library in itself is up to be a massive asset, because you need to be able to prompt right. Yes, you can put a small one-liner prompt in the front of Famous and it will create a pretty cool MVP out of it. And great. But as soon as you start wanting to add more stuff, you do need to get a little bit smarter with the prompts so that you're not doing so much troubleshooting later. The smarter the prompt to add a feature, the less reprompts or changes you'll need to make later on. And that's what that prompt library is becoming, a place to really help you learn how to prompt. And let me give you an example of that. When you ask for something and you then say, I want this, but I don't want this, if you put too much focus in the I don't want this, that becomes more prominent in the prompt for the AI than the actual thing what you want. So you need to kind of review your prompt and where can this be misunderstood? Because if there's an area that can be misunderstood, it will be misunderstood. And not just by Famous, by ChatGPT, by any system. I mean, we couldn't do this 4 or 5 months ago, breaking ground stuff. And so we have to learn to more efficiently. All right. I've done calculator code for engineering project in Gemini to deliver calculation codes to a CBS. To end up in Google Drive. Is it feasible to load up to Famous? Or need a zip? No. So you can't upload effectively of code into Famous. Not yet. Like I said, that is a kind of top one, and so it's not necessarily going to be something that's real soon, or at least I don't believe it is. Just to add clarity, I don't work for Famous. I'm an independent expert, and so I don't work for Famous. I have a very close connection with Alex and his amazing team. So the thing is that when I with issues, if I can't fix it, I have a back access into network as well. But I don't work for Famous. So when I say that's coming, I have no idea whether it's coming tomorrow or coming in 6 months' time. So just for clarity, don't go by Alex and say, well, Mark said you're developing this. When is it coming? Like, yeah, Mark. So it could be 6 months. It could be 12 months. It could be that they've decided not to do it anymore because it's that top 1%. And effectively, hub repository editing, adopting other people's code is really a different animal to what Famous.AI really is. Famous.AI is allowing people to, from a prompt, create magic, and uploading code from others is not really the same. Mick, welcome you. I use the restore button truth off the rails and then go back into deal with a small adjustment using prompts. I think you mean Famous, but yes. And that was the issue with the client I was working with yesterday. I was telling you about how he had many errors. He kind of hey, let's down the road. I'm in Georgetown. So could you go Bucky's for me in Waco? Because I really love Bucky's. Bucky took you can't beaver nuggets. And if none of you know what Bucky's is, you can't beat beaver nuggets as a probably has just completely thrown you. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh my goodness. Restoring, thank you, Rod. Restoring from Rod, thank you. Rod's got my back. So here we go. So restoring from prompts. The client I was working with yesterday was attempting to help themselves. They were attempting not to be a burden on the Discord channel. They joined the club to realize that they've got the support that they into a realm where they're attempting to fix it. And what Famous did was, oh, look, this isn't working. So what I'm going to do is strip out everything and just simplify it. And it was already doing it. It was telling him that that's what that's doing. And so now he's got a point where his login still doesn't work. And AI just told it that it had stripped out a whole load of features. And so we managed to fix we got that working really well. And moving on from that, we realized that once we logged in, we were on this very plain dashboard that looked like it had just created it from prompt number 1 and not prompt number 200 and something. And we managed to fix it. And we then managed to find all of the old code that was still there. It just wasn't connected anymore. And so we managed to connect it all back up. But if he had, when the occurred, gone back maybe 5 prompts to click that restore button and then attempted to fix it again and it still doesn't work, you can kind of go in 3 or 5 prompt loop. But if you've gone through 20 of my hand looked weird, I'm sorry. We've gone 20 or prompts, that button starts to disappear on older prompts. And so it's really important not to kind of get yourself deep in a rabbit hole. Otherwise, you'll end up like Winnie the Pooh, getting stuck in a hole and not being able to get out. Or it again. And you don't want to work hard creating something awesome and then have to kind of really work still, start again. So if it worked, and this is one of my rules, if it hasn't worked in 3 to 5 prompts, you need to do something different. Yeah, Kelly learned the hard way. Oh, and that's the other thing. Let me do this. When you get success, you've added a new feature, everything's working great. You've just fixed a bug and everything's working great. Go to code, click on the code icon, click this download button, go to your Finder or Windows Explorer or whatever it's called on a PC. And where is my Windows Explorer? Let me Finder. And then rename that zip file that it just downloaded with a timestamp or a feature stamp or whatever. So this is, what's it today? 27, 06725, login issue, for example. And you can download that code as much as you like. You're not limited to how much you can download code. And so, I'm sorry if it's blurry. Let's do this and see whether this makes life a little bit better. You shouldn't be able to see my screen not blurry. Okay, good, awesome. I'll just cover that again because that is important. Back up. And so feature, fix a bug, whatever the point that you're at, you'll go to code. Let me go back to preview for a second. You're going to go to code, clicking on this little icon up here. Let me make it bigger. See this little icon up here? You're going to click on that, and then you're going to click on this little icon here, which my button doesn't work for that. Oh, there we go. And it's going to download the project as a zip. Okay? And so is then going to go into your downloads folder, and then from there you're going to find that zip that it downloaded and then rename it to something more relevant, so you don't just end up with a whole load of project name.zips that you really don't know what that is. Okay, so even move it out of your downloads folder into another storage area. Only have your zips so that when you're doing some housekeeping, you need to clean up all your downloads. You don't end up removing your Pelly learned the hard way. All right. Okay. When I've an app, I got lost in the next process. Okay. Is that mobile app or a web app, Louis? And then let know, because the once you've an app as a web app, the process after that is different to whether you've been an app in for man. I have a very good, and if you all haven't, that every one of you in this room should subscribe to my my YouTube. Let me bring that up for you. So YouTube, I'll put the link. Oh, be quiet, Mark. I'll put the link into the chat for you, and I'll know if you subscribe, because the little here will update automatically. But in there is videos. There is, and you can search for videos. If you search for mobile there's a video called, there's a video called Publishing Your Mobile App, which is helpful if you are definitely publishing a mobile. Jason, appreciate you being an OG. This is publishing to the app stores. So this is a great one to watch. But the one that I want, I forget who it was. to watch. Why is this not mobile web? Okay, here we go. Choosing between, and let me this link. This and these changed slightly because you used to have to click on this little gear at the bottom here to wanted web or mobile, but now it's got little icons. But you're intelligent folk, you'll work it out. But this video is a good video about choosing whether you should do a mobile or a web app. And in most cases, you should do a web app first. Get the features working. Will this we're on be on there? Absolutely. All of my Friday webinars are put into my YouTube channel, which is another reason why you should subscribe. My counter's going up. Thank you, those 3 people. This is what I do it all for, just this little counter. Yeah, subscribe. Any of these webinars you miss, you'll be able to watch the replays from there. Once you back up Chuck's question, once you backed up your project, how do you restore? So you can't restore your backup from the zip file. You can only restore from the prompts, and from the last 5-10 prompts that have the store icon is the only way to restore. What you can do, if you know that a particular file is causing the issues, open that file from the zip, copy and paste it over the top of the code, click save all files and have it rebuild, and then you're restoring that one file. But you can't upload the whole zip to this. Jason has a meeting in 5 minutes. Do we need to learn a special type of prompt typography is it different from other coders like Replit? So no, there isn't really a special famous language to learn. English, be as clear as possible, use screenshots, and read through your message before you press send with the question, how is this going to be misunderstood? That's a great question to ask your prompt yourself. How can this be misunderstood? And I often write a prompt and that I think is really clear, and then I read back and think, oh, it might think this for that part, and then I'll change it around. So your language, just plain English, describe what you want, read back through that prompt, and make sure that you understand what it could misunderstand. Meeting schedule is about to, oh, okay. Fireflies is checking out. So if you want to say it's a good time to say it because it's not going to be transcribed. Will this? Oh, yes, it will. I've answered that. Jason needs to go. Please answer. I think I did. I'm not sure if I caught him before he went, but he can watch on the video. Hey, you saw me subscribe. This internet stuff is amazing. Yes, it is. Okay, awesome. Can I use AI to write a prompt? Absolutely. Can you use AI to write a prompt? If you've got ChatGPT, I am Grok or whatever it's called with or Tesla or whatever it's called, then yeah, you can say, I am using Famous.AI. I would like to ask it to do this. Could you create me the best prompt that will help it understand how to add this feature? Boom. See what it does. I do it all the time. My browser here. Oh wait, get rid of this message, and then you'll see my browser here. That I have two Chat GPT windows open. I'm constantly asking for advice and asking for things to be corrected. Maybe this is unrelated. Is my intellectual property safe when I build an app? Yeah, absolutely. And it's not unrelated. It's a great question. Answer other AI app builders, but Famous, you own the code. You own the data that's in Supabase. You own the idea as long as it's, and the back end is looking and going, oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to develop that. This is project, your code, and everything else. Okay, thank you. Using the AI for everything like AI. I don't know what that is. But any flavor AI, such as ChatGPT or Grok, any of the similar LLMs, learning models, you will be able to ask it questions and before you prompt. Prompting correct key. We are at the top of the hour, and I do like to start on time and finish on time. Is there any quick burning questions before we end? If not, make sure you have, there it is. Make sure you've subscribed to my YouTube channel. Those of you that have joined the club, thank you. I look forward to working with you. Those of you that have booked, I've seen some bookings for with you time as well. I look forward to working with you there. My calendar is open for the next 7 days at all times. So you can't book a call way in advance. I do that so that I can keep track of, making sure my availability is join the club, a support club that gives you access to me, my support, calls, etc. during the thing. This video, this webinar will be online in about an hour's time. So just go back to the beginning. It was about 10 or 15 minutes in, we started talking about it, but the link is there. Yes. Next week, we are not meeting. It is the 4th of July. I shall be with my 10-year-old son watching the parade at Round Rock, Texas. We've done that every year for the last 7 years since I've moved here, and I love it. I wear my Happy Treason Day which next week we will not be meeting. If you miss me, go to my YouTube channel and watch all the videos I published this week during the same hour, and then you won't miss me too much. Thank you so much for attending. I know it's right in the middle of your busy day. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and have a great day.